completely alone for 2 weeks kind of rocked me to my core. A lot of uncertainty. I can't even believe I'm saying this on the internet right now. Being a changed person on the other side of it. I was filming and I've never done anything like that before. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or to my channel if you're here for the first time. I'm Nora, thank you so much for being here. No traveling today. I'm actually gonna film more of a sit down. This is gonna be my 2025 travel, life, recap, all that good stuff. So get comfortable and we'll get into it. 2025 was actually a phenomenal year for me travel-wise. I got to do some really cool trips across some really big things off the bucket list. Some things that you haven't even seen yet, which is really exciting. I did my very first through hike. I hiked the West Highland Way in April with one of my best friends. That was 6 days of intense hiking, traveling, just getting to spend time in Scotland, which is my favorite country in the world. I think a lot of you found me through the West Highland Way, which is really cool, and just the comments and all those different things have been so nice. And I really liked traveling by through hike. So in June, once I was out for the school year, I did a Camino. I hiked from Portugal all the way up to Santiago. That was also a really incredible experience, even though I feel like I did not properly train for it, did not mentally prepare for it, all of those things. That was so incredibly cool. I definitely have a bug for through hiking now. I really want to keep through hiking, keep traveling that way, maybe incorporate more backpacking into it, because I think that is just so cool and is definitely where my interests lie right now. But of course, I'm also really interested in national parks. I've mentioned this on a couple videos, but my dad and I are trying to visit all 63 US national parks, and this summer we went to the Pacific Northwest, so we, I think, crossed off 7 national parks. I'm in the middle of editing those videos right now, so more videos to come about that, but we did North Cascades and Olympic and Mount Rainier, Crater Lake, Redwoods. We saw so many beautiful things. We went to the Oregon coast. That trip was amazing. It involved a cross-country drive that I don't even think I fully filmed, but was such an epic adventure. And it really solidified for me how much I love the PNW. I knew that I loved that, but just getting to see it in that light and explore it that way, it really spoke to me. I think the PNW in Scotland have similar vibes to them. And then I haven't even looked at the footage yet for this, but in October I went on a trip to Italy with my mom. We were in the Amalfi Coast and then Rome. And that was a spectacular, super wonderful trip, like really amazing to spend time with her and just get to experience a new country, because I'd never been to Italy. I feel so blessed by my travels this year. There was so much that was out of my comfort zone, particularly with planning some of these through hikes and just hoping that my body would hold up enough to get to the next destination. I did a solo trip this year, the trip to Portugal and Spain. I was completely alone for 2 weeks, and especially in contrast with the rest of my year, which I'm going to get to in a minute, travel was absolutely beautiful and stunning. I feel so blessed and grateful and just proud of myself. Like, there were things that I really wanted to cross off the list that I finally got to. This year was also the first year where I consistently videotaped everything. I've always been super interested in YouTube and in documenting travels, but it's never really been anything that I've taken super seriously. And particularly when you're on like a pretty intense trip and you're kind of tired, the last thing you want sometimes is to take out the camera. But every single trip that I went on this year, I had the camera out and I was filming, and I've never done anything like that before. I, feel so much pride in this channel, and it is a lot of work, and it's been so rewarding this past year to not only do all these travels and do all these trips, but also film them, because a lot of these trips were with my loved ones, and getting able to kind of have this video memory of it is something that I'm truly so proud of. I got so much better this year about talking in front of cameras in public and just getting more comfortable documenting everything. the travel and subsequently like the video recording of this year has just been so amazing. Like I genuinely am so proud. I don't think a single week went by this year where I wasn't either traveling or doing something to document the travels, which is so nice because I work a full-time job, so I'm not, despite what my channel seems, I am not traveling most of the time, but being able to like edit videos or get stuff out makes it more fun because I'm able to do something travel related or do something that's connected to my trips in some way the whole entire year. Now I'm gonna get into some of the more kind of behind the scenes life update things that happened this year, because while the travel was so amazing, the rest of my life this year was kind of interesting, and something that I want to do more in 2026 is just talk a little bit more about my life so that you can kind of have a perspective on who I am besides just the person that goes on all these trips. But this year was really difficult. Without getting too much into it, my mom got really sick in February, and it was one of those instances where like one day everything is fine and then the next day it is a battle. It is you know, touch and go, a lot of uncertainty. I really had a hard time with that. I guess, spoiler alert, everything's okay. My mom is completely fine. She ended up going on part of our PNW road trip and she came to Italy with me. The experience in February and her getting sick really kind of rocked me to my core, and I feel like this whole year has been me experiencing that and then being a changed person on the other side of it. Having family members that are sick is really hard, and you know, we got a happy ending from it, but there's so many people that don't, and the whole year everything felt so momentous because I just feel like I was on borrowed time with my mom. I still feel like that. In a lot of ways, travel was a wonderful escape, and in a lot of ways, travel felt so superfluous. The world is really struggling in a lot of ways right now, and just being able to travel and go on a trip is so privileged. And in a lot of ways, at times I kind of lost my motivation for travel because everything else just seemed so momentous and huge. So I've been grappling with that a lot this year. Another common theme in my life is that I want to live everywhere and I want to move everywhere, but everything that I experienced with my mom made me really put that into question. So I don't know. And the other big thing that happened this year is I lost my dog, my childhood dog. She passed away in October, and she was amazing. She was kind of a reactive dog, and if you've ever had a reactive dog, you kind of know that when they give you their love, it's a really special thing, and this dog was so special. She was a constant in my life. We got her when I was in 7th grade, and I'm like fully in my mid-20s now, and every time I came home, she was always there, and all of a sudden, like one day, she's not, and the fact that it happened the same year that everything happened with my mom was just a lot. Like now that we're at the end of the year, I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel battered and bruised, you know? And it's interesting because I spent the whole summer traveling, and I don't necessarily regret this, but I could have, because I'm a teacher, so I have 2 months off in the summer. I could have just spent that time at home and been with my dog, but instead I was traveling. And I don't necessarily, like I said, I don't regret that, but there's always going to be a trade-off, and there's never going to be enough time with anyone. Anyways, so much change has happened this year behind the scenes. I moved out of my house with roommates. I am living alone. I traveled a bunch. I did new things at work. I pushed myself to new limits, and so much of that is not necessarily seen when I'm giving footage of my trips and different things like that. But even though I think this channel is definitely a highlight reel, I just want to be super honest that, you know, this has been the worst year of my life. Even in the midst of that, there's still a lot of good. If you also had a really rough 2025, my heart goes out to you. I think that next year will be our year. And speaking of next year, the last section of this video is gonna be my 2026 travel plans, and I don't really have a script for this section. It's probably just gonna be me blabbing because I still have a lot of things that are in the works and that I need to figure out. So I'll start off by saying nothing is booked yet. I'm still pretty backed up from 2025, so the Italy video still needs to come out. I still have videos about the West Highland Way and the Camino. I want to do more documentary style videos combining all my footage from those trips. I want to put out national park advice videos, and then I want to do packing. Packing videos really intimidate me for some reason. I think that they're low-key really hard to film, but I want to kind of dive into packing videos. I also, in 2025, because I don't have any trips planned yet necessarily, I want to do more DC content. For those of you that don't know, I live in Washington, DC, and I've lived here for a good little bit of time, and DC is a pretty touristy city, and I know my way around pretty well, and I want to kind of do more DC-based content while I'm here. So those are kind of things to be in the mix. In terms of trips that I'm planning, this is just kind of a hodgepodge. So like I said, I'm a teacher, so I have some built-in time off, particularly the summer. The one trip that's for sure going to happen, hopefully, is my dad and I are going to do a national park trip to the Midwest. We're at 44 national parks right now, and there's 3 in the Midwest that we haven't gone to. There's Isle Royale in Michigan, there's Voyageurs in Minnesota, and then there is Indiana Dunes outside of Chicago. We have not been anywhere because those are actually kind of difficult parks to plan for. Like Isle Royale is a teeny tiny island literally in the center of Michigan, so we'll see how that happens, but I think we're for sure doing that. This spring, we are tentatively planning a national park trip. It might be Arizona because I still have not been to Saguaro or Petrified Forest. We were gonna do an Arizona trip for winter break and be in Arizona for New Year's, but then my dog passed, and since then my family has gotten a new dog and we don't really want to leave. My dad really doesn't want to leave a puppy. So maybe an Arizona trip for spring break this year, which would be really exciting. We also still need to go to Virgin Islands National Park and St. John. I've tried to plan the St. John trip quite literally 3 times. I have a Google Doc on my laptop from 3 years ago, and the trip just keeps getting messed up. Like things just keep not happening with it. So maybe those over spring break. I might opt for the saving money route and just do a backpacking trip. I did this a couple years ago and it was actually really transformative and fun. Backpacking is like intense and it can be awesome. There's a ton of sections of the AT near where I'm from in Charlottesville that I haven't done yet that my dad and I might just go pick like a 4-day stretch and go backpacking to get more practice for that. In terms of the summer travel, like I said, that Midwest trip, I have about a 3 to month-long period where I'm just not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I am almost for sure going to go to Greece with my mom at some point this year. My mom really wants to go to Greece. There are some unexplored, but by me, islands that I still want to go to in Greece, so we are going to be doing that at some point. What I do in addition to that, I don't know. I really want to do a coast-to-coast hike in England. I think UK hiking is some of the best in the whole world, and when I was on the West Highland Way, I talked to a couple that had done coast-to-coast, and they said really amazing things about it. So maybe that one. I've also been looking at Peaks of the Balkans a little bit because that looks like a cool trail. I want to do some sort of through hiking experience, and ideally one where I can camp, because I think that's the next raising my comfort zone a little bit with through hiking is actually camping for it. So all those are bouncing around. And I also, I can't even believe I'm saying this on the internet right now. I am debating doing a more involved adventure. something like the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail, which is partly why I want to do more experience and more longer backpacking trips. So we'll see. If you're here, I truly appreciate it so much. My editing style and like what I've learned about videos I think has hopefully really improved as the years gone on, but it definitely there have been times where it hasn't been that great. So I just appreciate you being here so much. I appreciate all of the kind comments. This is something that has always been a dream of mine that I was too scared to start, but has really just been like a wonderful outlet this year. It has helped me cope. It has given me purpose. I love the act of creating. It's helped a lot with mental health struggles, and I'm just so incredibly grateful for it. And I'm so grateful for you for being here. Thank you so much for watching this channel. I hopefully will see you in 2026, and I'm wishing you a really wonderful holiday season. Okay, thank you.